Just editing my video right now. One quick thing. I want to discuss the Jeremy Swayman rumors about him being traded to Edmonton. That trade would make no sense. No matter who's coming back, it is objectively terrible. I've mentioned this a few times on this channel. It would not be a good deal no matter who you're getting, especially if you're getting another goalie back. Neither one of the two Edmonton goalies were good this season. They were both good. Neither one of them were great. Swayman's been great every year he's played except this past season. The correct answer is to trade Korpisalo and you call up one of the guys in the AHL. If you're trading Swayman right now, you're trading him at his lowest possible value, and you're going to get nothing in return. If you want to call him a problem, then you're trading problem for problem, and it's not going to work out. I keep seeing these trades. One was Evan Bouchard, Calvin, Stuart Skinner, and then I think that was it on the Edmonton side. And then Boston sends out Mason Lohrei, who's been dubbed Evan Bouchard Light, by Edmonton fans at least. You do not watch Bruins games, that's very apparent. Jeremy Swayman, and then I think a second or first round pick or something. Now, that's just a rumor trade. That's not something that's been official by any means. That is a terrible trade. You're paying the Edmonton Oilers for Jeremy Swayman and Mason Lohrei, your goaltender of the future, and your 1B your 1B defenseman of the future. I still think McAvoy's got a lot left in the tank. I think he's going to be here for a long time. You could even call him your third option if you want to put him behind Hampus Lindholm. That's a terrible trade. I can't see that physically happening, especially that trade in particular. Swayman's not going to Edmonton. He's here for 7 more years. You're going to sit there and you're going to like it. Stop the complaining. Let's get into the video. All right. Just close the door right there. Busy week in Bruins Nation this week. Obviously, the Stanley Cup was awarded last week. People still aren't happy with the Marchand trade. Mason Lohrei has been re-signed, and new jerseys have been released, I guess fully released, for at the very least next season. I think that's going to be it. That's all we're going to cover for today's video, but let's get right into it. I'm going to start with the Brad Marchand conversation. That's probably the biggest point, or one of the biggest points to talk about today. Fans need to get over it. This team isn't good, and more than likely they would not have been able to sign anyone, not even that, just become competitive again before Brad Marchand's career comes to an end. Did he want to be traded? I'm sure he didn't. I'm sure he would have loved to be a career Bruin. But they got him a cup in 2011, which he wasn't, quite frankly, a huge part of throughout the 82 games. Obviously, he came up big in the cup final, but he wasn't a huge part of that cup run. Not in my opinion, at least. You blow it in 2013. You blow it in 2019. And then, of course, you blow it in 2023 when you have the best regular season in NHL history. Boston did right by Marchand. And that's something that people need to understand and they need to wrap their heads around. Everybody in Bruins Nation would love to see him stick around. This team's not going to be winning a cup. They're not going to win a cup in the next 5 years. If they do, I'd be very surprised. I don't see them winning a cup in the next 5 years. And for that reason, I am happy that he got sent to a team that he could win a cup with and a team that he did win a cup with. And If he re-signs in Florida, wonderful. That team's going to be very good next season. Once again, they don't have a ton of free agents. Now, the free agents that they do have are pretty big. But I think they're going to be able to run it back. And there aren't a ton of teams that can pick up guys in free agency and compete with them again. Like, the Leafs took them to 7, which arguably the Leafs should have won that series. They were up 2-0. And then they blow. What else is new? It's the Toronto Maple Leafs. Okay, so they were the closest team to Florida. But when it's not 1 through 8, if it was 1 through 8, that Eastern Conference matchup is round 1 matchup. And this isn't going to be an argument for 1 through 8. This is, no one is particularly close. With the Leafs losing Marner, now they might be able to recuperate that in Matthew Nyes and a few other guys via free agency. But this isn't a good enough year to knock off the defending Stanley Cup champions. I could see them going for 3 in a row. And it wouldn't surprise me. And you know what? If Marchand ends up with 3 rings, maybe he signs a 1-year deal. I think it's going to be around 4 years, $8 million a season. I don't know if he's going to play the last year. But 3 to 5 years, $8 million range. Older guy, can step up for you in the playoffs. I mean, he's perfect for Florida, quite frankly. He basically won them the Cup final, and people aren't going to like that, but he pretty much did. All 6 of his goals came at very key moments. At least 4. I'm thinking of a couple right now. Maybe not necessarily key moments, but opening goals, game-winning goals. He came up big in those situations. Be happy for the guy. Could you have gotten more for him? Not really. You really couldn't have. He's 37, pushing 38. On an expiring deal. He was injured at the time. There was no guarantee that he was going to be 100% come playoff time. And apparently he was, at the very least. Be happy for the guy. Except that trades look bad. A lot of trades look bad, but they can still be good trades. And sure, if that pick ends up being, I don't know, 32nd, 28th, whatever, wherever Florida finishes, it's fine. It's going to be fine. Would you rather watch him suffer here for the next 4 years? Or would you rather go watch Brad Marchand win a Stanley Cup again? I know what I would want. I know what a lot of Bruins fans that I talk to would want. Why? Why is this so hard? And I get it. People do not like Don Sweeney. I just saw, I forget who did it, but someone had a ranking of the 15 worst general managers. Don Sweeney was 10 on that list. Is he great? No, he's not great. I'll say that. I'll say that he's not great. I haven't enjoyed a lot of his free agency signings, even though most of them have turned out all right. What would have made you happy in that deal? And if you're upset, if you've made it this far in the video and you're upset with this trade, let me know down below what you would have wanted to recuperate in the trade for Marchand. Could that first round pick be a bust? Absolutely. Could that first round pick be Brad Marchand? It could. Could that first round pick be David Pastrnak? Absolutely it could. Now, maybe it's the fact that that pick's not coming around until 2027, 2028. It's probably going to be 2030 by the time that kid sees the ice in the NHL, at least full-time. It might very well end up being a rough few years for this team. I believe deep down that they're a good team on paper. They're the best team in the bottom 5, at the very least. Or I guess in the bottom 6, because Philly tied with them and then beat them on goal differential. Or not even, it didn't even get in-season record against each other. Okay, where am I going with this now? I do believe this team's good. Are they playoff good? That I'm not sure of. They very well might be. Montreal and Ottawa are not safe. If the Rangers and the Bruins both find their step again, they're not safe. And then after that, we end up with pretty well, more than likely, the same playoff format, or the same playoffs, obviously different seeding, as we did last year, being 2023, 2024. This was just a bad year. It was an all-around bad year. McAvoy goes down. Lindholm goes down. Mason Lohrei ends up playing top pair minutes, and that's actually going to be a great segue right into my next topic. Him getting extended. Zadorov could not find a good D partner until Henry Jokiharju showed up, and then he looked very good. Now getting back to Mason Lohrei. Mason Lohrei has been extended. But overall, plus Morgan Geekie was a 30-goal scorer, and I believe that he will be another 30-goal scorer again next season. Maybe Boston needs to make a trade. They got a bunch of first-round picks over the next few years to use. Don't be afraid to use them. A lot of teams are looking to cap dump. I know Vegas is looking to dump a guy or two for the chance to sign Mitch Marner. Maybe you're a facilitator in that, and you end up getting a pretty good piece in that deal. And who knows? Maybe that's what you need. You need a centerman at least, because Matthew Poitras is not the guy right now. Fraser Minton might be, although he barely cracked the lineup. I would like to see him out of camp next season. I'm not sure if we are going to get to, though. And then Fabian Lysell. He needs to take a step forward at least. Show up in training camp. Show that he has what it takes to be an NHLer every day. And then obviously on D, Lindholm, McAvoy, I guess Peak or Witherspoon, Lohrei, Zadorov, Jokiharju. If we run that D-core back, I'm happy with it. Because then you get Jokiharju, who looked really well with Zadorov. Zadorov looked really well with him. I'm not going to complain with that. And then obviously you get a seventh guy in there. And pick your poison on who you want that to be, really, I guess. It's going to be fine. This team will be fine. The return on the trade wasn't ideal. It's going to be all right, though. This team will be back up near the top in the next half decade, I'm sure of it. Leaning right in to the Mason Lohrei signing, I guess now 3 minutes after I initially mentioned it. Mason Lohrei has been extended 2 years at $3.2 million. He will be an RFA at the end of the deal. I'm not going to complain with that. It's a solid bridge deal. Would have liked a long-term contract because I personally like the way he played. I mean, in this market, he probably wasn't willing to go much longer than 2 or 3 years. And Boston probably wasn't willing to go much higher than 3. I would have signed him 6 times 5. Maybe 6 times 4.5, whatever. Overall, though, it's a solid deal for a solid defenseman if you take out plus-minus. When he was getting bad matchups all season long as a number 1 defenseman on a team that was terrible. I mean, quite frankly, the Bruins were terrible. He ended up winning the Green Jacket for the lowest plus-minus. in the NHL. He's still a good defender. He really is. He put up 30 points. I believe 18 of them were on the power play this season. Man, I don't know. I'm happy with the deal. Would have liked it to be a bit longer. $3.2 million, though, it's not bad. Obviously, ideally, Lohrei plays poorly throughout the next 2 seasons, signs a long-term deal with Boston, and then is great. I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's going to end up playing much better next season and even better the season after that. I'm really banking on him. But yeah, that's kind of all I really need to say about that. I'm happy with the deal. Moving right on. The Boston Bruins have announced throwback jerseys for this season. Obviously, they've been teasing it for the past couple weeks or so. People were thinking, oh, it's going to be Pastrnak getting the captaincy. It's going to be McAvoy getting the captaincy, whatever. In the photos that we've seen with them, on actual players, both players have A's. I'm thinking that it's just going to be an A season. I don't think Boston's going to have a captain in this following year. Yeah, I mean, I like them personally. I like the retro look. They've gone for a lot of black on it, which I like, especially at home. The gloves are all black with yellow, I guess, sponsor brand writing on it. Still have the jersey, the sponsor patch. Unfortunately, those are kind of here to stay. Overall, though, I like them. They look nice and clean. They look older, like they kind of like the whole point of this. Yeah, I mean, it's nothing to write home about, really. It's not like a new jersey that no one's ever seen before. They've been their jerseys before, but they look good. They look good. At the very least, we're going to have 23 guys looking nice on the ice for 82 games next season. How they play, that's going to be coming up later. If you've made it to this far in the video, I'm going to try to do a draft stream. Obviously, it's 4 hours, which is really long for 32 picks. I'm hoping I'm able to do that come Friday. It would be really nice. But yeah, that's going to do it for this one. Thank you all so much for watching. Click like if you like. Click subscribe if you enjoyed. And yeah, we will be back. Next couple weeks are going to be pretty hectic. You got the draft on Friday, free agency on Tuesday, which feels really weird to say. I do not recall the last time it was on a Tuesday, but it's on Tuesday this year. Should be a fun 2 weeks.